too. Hope you're all doing well, whether you're at home or you're at school or whatever it is you're doing. I'm just glad that you're doing art and that you're watching my videos. This week we're going to keep talking about Claude Monet. So in the first week when I shared the story with you, we talked a little bit about where Claude Monet was from, which was France. And like I said, that's why his name is spelled a little bit strange with that silent T on the end. We don't call him Monet, we call him Monet. And that's because his name is French. Last week we talked a little bit about subject matter as well. So, does anyone remember what subject matter actually is? I promise the screen is not frozen. I'm just waiting to see if you've got an answer. Giving you some time. Does anyone remember? Subject matter is basically just what a picture or an artwork is of. So like I said to you, if you were doing a self-portrait, then the subject matter is you. If you were drawing your house, then what's the subject matter? The house. Easy. And Claude Monet's subject matter was mostly nature and his garden, which he just loved so much. Painting and gardening were his two favourite things to do. So on the days that he could paint his garden, I'm sure he was the happiest man in the world. Today we're going to talk about some more things to do with Claude Monet. And I'm going to get you to look at some pictures that he's painted. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that he did, which were very unique to him. So just things that he sort of did in his artwork that not really very many other people have done before. So last year we talked a little bit in year one about warm and cool colours. And guess what? We're going to keep on going with that. Claude Monet uses mostly cool colours in his artwork. So can anyone remember what the three cool colours are? Gonna give you time, giving you time, giving you time. Three cool colours, what are they? The three cool colours that we've talked about before are blue, green, and purple. And when we look at Claude Monet's artwork, we notice that a lot of his artwork uses mostly blue, green, and purple. Sometimes we see little pops of warm colours, like maybe the bright pink from the lilies in his water garden, or neutral colours like browns and greys and blacks. But for the most part, when we look at his artwork, we see lots and lots and lots of cool colours. The other thing that Claude Monet did, which was pretty different from how a lot of other people painted, was that he uses a technique to paint called stippling. So stippling is really interesting because it helps to create texture in your artwork. Now we know that texture is when you can feel something. So in an artwork, we don't usually have texture that we can actually feel, but it looks like there's texture there you can feel. And it kind of tricks your eye a little bit. And the way that Claude Monet did that was instead of doing big brush strokes like this, how we normally paint, he did lots and lots of little brush strokes where he just dabbed very gently with the end of his brush. And this is called stippling. And if we look at some of his artworks, we can actually see where he's done these little tiny brush strokes that are just dabbing to make all this lovely texture in his artworks. He didn't do these big brush strokes very often. He did lots and lots and lots of these little ones, which make his artworks really interesting. So in a moment, I'm going to put up one Claude Monet artwork that I want you to have a look at. And I want you to see if you can see those two things. I want you to see if you can find an area in the artwork where there is stippling. And I want you to see if you can find an area in the artwork that is mostly cool colours. Stippling, where you dab with your brush instead of big brush strokes, and cool colours, blue, green, purple. All right, I'm gonna pop it up now. Okay, were you able to find those two things? Were you able to find stippling those little dab marks and cool colors in his artwork, I think it was pretty easy. It's most of the artwork. I think you would have been able to nail it. So for this week, what I would like you to do is I would like you to go outside. I would like you to go outside to either your backyard or your front yard or wherever you've got some nature that you can draw. Now, I don't really have a backyard in my house, so I'm actually going to draw one of my plants. And I want you to try and use mostly cool colors in your drawing. And I want you to have a go doing some stippling. Now, we can actually stipple with a paintbrush or with a pencil or a texter even. And we just use little dabbing, very gentle marks like Claude Monet did. I'm going to do my drawing and I'm going to show you how it goes. And then I want you to have a go. You can draw your backyard if you want to. You can draw your front yard. You can draw a plant that you might have at home. Or maybe you might even want to look up a picture of a garden on the internet and try and draw that. But remember, I want you to have a go, including lots of cool colors and some stippling as well. Reckon we can do it? I think we can. All right, I'm going to show you mine. Okay, year 2. So, like I said, I don't really have very much nature in my house. I don't really have any backyard for me to draw, but what I do have is lots and lots of plants. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this plant and I'm going to try and draw it. So I'm going to use mostly cool colors. So I might change the color of the pot that it's in. And I'm going to imagine a background for it that's cool colors as well. And the other thing that I'm trying to do is I'm going to try and use some stippling. So like I said, stippling is when we use that little dabbing motion to put color and texture into our artwork. And I think that will be really nice for me to do with the leaves. So here we go. Let's see how I go. Okay, now that I've done my grey lid drawing, now for the fun bit. Now I'm going to start adding some cool colours. So I'm going to start with my leaves and I'm going to use some textures and I'm going to use some pencils. And like I said, I'm going to use stippling, that technique that Claude Monet did. So I'm going to start by using lots of little dots to make my colouring in. So you can see that I've got a little bit of texture happening there. And what I can actually do is I can use some different colors as well. So I'm going to use some light green as well. And I'm very gently just pressing down and doing lots of little dabs to color in my artwork. Now I might have to go over this with maybe a fine liner because I'm using texture, but I think it would be alright if you were using colored pencils. Maybe I'll try that as well. I don't want my leaves to blend together too much. Got some, ooh, beautiful stippling. Now this does take a little while, so you need to be patient. And I would say don't do it everywhere. I think I'm just going to use stippling on my leaves. So that's how I've done it with my textures. Let's see how I go with some pencils. So I'm going to use some different color greens. And I'm going to do lots of little... I think I need to sharpen my pencil. Lots of little dots and little dabs. You might have to be a little bit harder with your pencil. And like I said, even if you've got paint at home, you can do it with a paintbrush. It's just about being really gentle and making lots and lots of different lines and little dab marks with just the end of your pencil. All right, I'm not going to make you watch me do this forever because that will be quite boring. but hopefully you've got the idea. And in a moment, I'm going to show you my finished one. Okay, so I finished my Monet artwork. I've used stippling, I've used mostly cool colors, and I did a little bit of textures and a little bit of colored pencils. So here it is. So I used cool colors for my background with just a little bit of warm colors with a little pot, and I've got some neutral colors in my dirt. And I used stippling, little dabs, for all of my leaves. So in some spots, like this leaf here, I've done some stippling and then some colored pencil over the top, and I did the same with the dirt. And some places I've just done the stippling with my textures. Cool. All right, I hope that you'll be able to find some nature to inspire you. Like I said, if you don't have a backyard like me, you can try and draw a plant that you've got, or you can go outside and paint or draw your garden. Or you can even look up a picture on the internet and have a go trying to draw a garden from there using cool colors and some stippling. For this week, if you've got paints at home, go nuts. You can have a go trying to paint your artwork. If you've got textures, you can do that. Or if you've got pencils, you can do that. Up to you. You can use whatever materials that you have access to at home. But I want you guys to have a go with stippling and using lots of cool colors. Good luck. I'll see you next time. And please don't forget to share your artwork with me. I've really enjoyed seeing what you're doing at home, and I hope you've liked getting my comments back. Bye.